students, welcome everyone. Today we will study air pollution. As in previous lecture we studied what is pollution, what are the sources of pollution, contaminants, what are the contaminants called as pollutant, what are pollutants and what are the sources of pollutant, and what effects of pollutant has been caused by different types of pollutant, like different types of pollutant, air pollutant where gaseous pollutant, where of two types, gaseous pollutant and a particulate pollutant or suspended particulate matter we can call it. So, we have already studied what are the sources of pollutants, gaseous pollutant and suspended particulate pollutants, and what were the effect it were causing on all the natural environment, natural atmosphere and all the organic living beings like human beings and plants, flora and fauna, etc. So, today we will study what is air pollution in continuation to our previous lecture. So, today we will study what are the types of air pollution, like what is domestic air pollution and what is industrial air pollution and how we can control it. So, first of all we should study prevention and control of indoor air pollution or domestic air pollution. What is domestic air pollution? The smoke, the foul smell, the particulate matter, the suspended particulate matter, the gaseous pollutant, everything which is being emitted from our domestic sources, residential sources or indoor sources are called as indoor air pollutants or residential air pollutants. Yes, my dear students. So, now let us study what are its type, let us study it in descriptive form and how we can control it. Poor ventilation due to faulty design of buildings lead to pollution of the confined space like paints, carpets, furniture, etc. in rooms may give out volatile organic and foul smell. As we have already seen, nowadays VOCs, free paints are coming into the market because of this reason only, because different types of polishes, different types of varnishes, different types of paints which are being used up into the houses, into our residential areas and domestic layouts are very harmful and very injurious to all the living organisms and all the human beings. So, these are to be avoided. So, nowadays VOCs, free paints are coming, we should use them in place of these types of paints which have high quantity of volatile organic matter which causes foul smell and has organic volatile evaporants which are evaporated into the atmosphere and which could cause damage to our respiratory system and our health as a whole. So, poor ventilation due to faulty design of buildings, a proper ventilated design of building should be there, a proper air ventilation should be there inside all the buildings, all the houses, all the residential areas. It leads to the air pollution of a confined space. Confined space, if it has a pollutant, will spread the pollutant at a very high rate as compared to the ventilated atmosphere or ventilated rooms or ventilated areas. If ventilation is not there, then that particular air pollutant or particular foul smell will not be able to escape out. So, that is why a poor ventilation also adds up to the air pollution. So, poor ventilation due to the faulty design of buildings leads to pollution of confined space. Then several types of paints, carpets, furnitures, etc. in room may cause volatile organic compounds like VOCs, may cause different volatile organic compounds. Volatile organic compounds means volatile organic smells which are being evaporated from them and which gets our air to be polluted at a large level. So, we all can feel like it, if any paints or varnishes being are used up in our houses, then we can feel their smoky smell, we can feel their organic smell, organic solvent like smell is emitted from them, it gets suspended into the air and we are unable to inhale fresh air, we are unable to breathe in the fresh air, right students. So, we should avoid doing that and we should always use compounds or solvents with less organic content or less smoky flames or less volatile contents like less VOCs. VOCs, what are VOCs? Volatile organic content. So, we should go for such type of solvent or such type of materials for the same purposes which have less volatile organic compounds or less other or less organic solvents. So, we can replace our paints in carpets and furniture etc. which gives the room a volatile organic VOCs. We should avoid VOCs at all the cost. Then different disinfectants, fumigants, etc., which are being done to remove all the rodents, all the mosquito repellents, insect repellents, etc., also include such volatile organic compounds, VOCs, and such organic solvents which disperse or which emits such foul smells and such solvent like organic smells, which are very harmful for our lungs, which are very harmful for our respiratory system. For example, nowadays we are using a sanitizer at a very high level, right, at very high level, and at all the types, at all the stages we used to use it because of this COVID disease. So, it also contains a high amount of alcohol, and after using it, the alcohol gets evaporated into the atmosphere and pollutes it at a large level, and all the alcohol content and all the alcohol fumes or and smells are inhaled by the human beings, are inhaled by the living organisms, and it is damaging our respiratory system and lungs also. Okay. So, we should use, we cannot avoid it because it is essential for the prevention of COVID disease, and we can be at our safe pace because with the uses of sanitizer. So, we should not stop it using, but we can use it rationally, we can use it in a proper way by identifying which sanitizer is best suited for us and which is safe for us, safe for our lungs, safe for our respiratory system, and which is most healthiest one. We can opt for that. So, my dear student, different disinfectants, fumigants, etc., may release hazardous gases also. Pathogens present in waste remain in the air in the form of spores and cause infection in the occupational health hazards also. For example, occupational health hazard means any health hazard which is related to any occupation or any workplace, specific workplace or occupation, like medical health professionals, right. So, different germs, spores, different microbial spores can get suspended out there, and they can cause ill health, or they can cause different sort of respiratory problems to the health workers which are particularly working in that premises, okay, or in that occupation. So, moving ahead, like in congested areas like slums and rural areas, burning of firewood and biomass result in a lot of smoke. As we all know that in residential congested areas, if an amount of smoke is burnt over there, it will cause a large amount of smoke, a large amount of fumes, right. So, in congested and small areas, it will lead to large pollution, it will lead to more pollution as compared to the open, ventilated and large areas. So, we should avoid congested places. Children and ladies exposed to smoke may suffer from acute respiratory problems which include running nose, cough, sore throat, lung infection, asthma, difficulty in breathing, and noisy respiratory system is some sort of wheezing and noisy respiratory system you can feel like. Well, these all symptoms would be there if they are suffering from any respiratory infection due to pollution. Now comes prevention and control of outdoor air pollution. Yes, my dear students, now comes the outdoor air pollution, which could include all the air pollution which has been caused by different sort of power plants, different sort of factories, industries, etc. This all comes into the outdoor air pollution. So, now my dear students, let us see how we can control and eradicate it. Use of wood and dung cake should be replaced by cleaner fuels. So, use of wood and dung cake should be replaced by cleaner fuels such as biogas, kerosene or electricity, but the supply of electricity is limited. Similarly, the kerosene is also limited. Improved stoves for cooking like smokeless chulhas have high thermal efficiency and reduce emission of pollutants and reduce quantity of smoke and foul smells. So, these designs should be incorporated in all the ventilated chulhas and well ventilated gaseous system, so that we can opt for and we can substitute our traditional chulhas and traditional dung cakes burning of fuel generation should be replaced by some cleaner modes of fuel like biomass, biogas, etc., electricity. These all should be kerosene, these all should be this should substitute our older and traditional system like dung cakes, and some cleaner options, cleaner fuel options should be there, which can reduce air pollution to a major extent, because they generate low amount of fumes, low amount of aroma and low amount of smoke. Now, Next, what we can do is segregation of waste. Yes, dear students, this is very important and this is a very crucial step from our side, which the human beings on their own can do our part. We should do our part, that whenever we dispose of any waste, the segregation of waste and the pre-treatment, as I have told you, I have taught you earlier also in my previous lectures, that in previous lectures of pollution, when we have seen what is pollution, what are the sources of pollution, and what is the impact of pollution, then I have told you several times that if we could not eradicate pollution, we should try to minimize it. And how could we minimize it? We could minimize it in a form like we should pre-treat all the pollutants before dispersing it, before suspending it either onto our land surfaces or soil, or suspending it into water bodies causing water pollution, or suspending it or emitting into the air causing air pollution, my dear student. So, we should first of all segregate it into different sort it. Segregate means sorting, sort it out according to their size, according to their particles, according to the type, according to the degeneration category, according to the chemical and physical nature of pollutants. And also we should pre-treat the pollutant, we should pre-treat the sources of pollutant and then sterilize it, and then we should, after treatment, we should disperse it and we should dispense it into various sources like land or soil or water or air. So, segregation of waste, pre-treatment at the sources, sterilization of rooms will help in checking indoor air pollution and outdoor air pollution as a whole. Now, next come the prevention and control of industrial pollution. The industrial pollution can be greatly reduced. How can we reduce industrial pollution? Yes, dear students, use of cleaner fuels, of course, the main measure which is being applicable into the indoor air pollution and residential air pollution is also applicable on the industries and factories also. Yes. So, cleaner fuels such as LP, liquefied natural gas, powers fertilizer plants, which is cheaper in addition to being environmental friendly also. So, these natural gas like liquefied natural gases also can be used, CNG can be used, and we should use these type of fuel, these type of cleaner fuel, this type of environmental friendly fuels to eradicate or reduce the industrial and pollution caused by factories at all the level. Now, what next could be done in addition to it? Employing environmental friendly industrial processes also. Our processes, our machinery, our layout, our techniques should all should be changed completely according to our nature. These all should be nature friendly, should be atmosphere and environmental friendly. So, we should change all the processes, all the techniques and mechanics which we are using in any of the industries, any of the factories. So, employing environmental friendly industrial processes so that emission of pollutant and hazardous waste is minimized to a large extent. Yes, my dear students, as I have told you earlier several times, if we cannot reduce it at all the levels globally, we should at least try to minimize it. At least try to minimize it with our actions, with our deeds, and with our all senses and consciousness. We should behave like a responsible citizen of our country. Installing devices which reduce release of pollutants, like which devices? Filters, electrostatic precipitators, inertial collectors, scrubbers, gravel bed filters, which are described as follows. These are the devices which could be used. Now, we should study the devices in detail. First device is scrubber, which could be applied to filter out and to pre-treat our emitted smoke and emitted air pollutants. What are the scrubber? Let us study it in detail. Scrubbers are wet collector. They remove the aerosols from a stream of gas by collecting wet particles on a surface followed by their removal. Now, next is filters. Filters remove particulate matter from the gas stream. The medium of a filter may be made up of fibrous materials like cloth, granular material like sand, or rigid material like any screen or any mat like felt pad, asbestos pad, etc. Filtration, this filtration system is the most common and most generally used system in all the industries and all the factories, because it can bear a temperature of 290 degrees Celsius. Now, next with electrostatic precipitators. Yes, dear students, as the name itself shows, some electrostatic field must be applied therein. This electrostatic precipitators work on a phenomena. What is the phenomena? Let us study. The dust is charged with ions and the ionized particulate matter is collected on the oppositely charged surfaces. Yes, as I told you, this is based on electrostatic attraction phenomena. So, first of all, the dust or smoke particles or any of the particulate matter of air pollutant are first of all charged, and after charging they are collected on the, because of the phenomena that negatively charged gets attracted to positively and positively gets attracted to negatively charged particles. So, the charged particles get attracted to their oppositely charged electrodes, oppositely charged surfaces. Then these electrostatic precipitators are mostly used in boilers, furnaces and many other units of thermal power plants, cement factories, steel plants, etc. Now, moving ahead. Fourth one is inertial collectors. What is inertial collectors? Yes, dear students, as the name itself suggests, the phenomena of inertial collectors should be based upon the what phenomena? Yes, inertia. Yes, what is the phenomena behind it? Inertia. What is the mechanism? Inertia. It works on the principle of inertia of SPM, suspended particulate matter. SPM, what is SPM? Suspended particulate matter. Suspended particulate matter or suspended particular air pollutant on the basis of inertia gets collected, and after collected we can throw it out or we can filter it out. So, let us study how it works. It works on the principle of inertia of SPM or suspended particulate matter. As inertia is a function of mass of particulate matter, this device collects heavier particles more efficiently, and there it creates a cyclone form of mechanism. There is the common inertial collector. It is used in gas cleaning plants or etc. Okay. So, now we have studied all the types. What were the types of systems and what were the types of pre-treatments? First was a scrubber, then next was filters. Filters are mostly used at a high temperature in all the industries and factories which uses high temperature like 290 degree Celsius tak we can use it, right. Now, third one is ESPs, electrostatic precipitators. Yes, dear students, and that was working on the phenomena of electrically charged particle or electrostatically charged particle. In that, electrostatically charged dust particles or suspended particulate matter were moving to the oppositely charged surfaces and they were getting collected there, and from there we can eradicate out very well. Next one is inertial character. It is working on the phenomena of inertia, and a cyclone type of phenomena, a cyclone type of mechanism is forming out there, and after that we can filter it out or we can remove it out. Now, apart from the use of above mentioned devices or above mentioned treatment systems, we can use other control measures also. What are the other control measures? The other control measures are increasing the height of chimneys so that the most of the dust, most of the smoke, most of the harmful gases which are coming out of the chimneys and getting suspended into the air moves to the upper extent and move to the high level of air, high level of atmosphere, and it does not comes down because we cannot inhale it, and suppose we cannot inhale it and we are best removing it out. We should increase the height of our chimney so that all the dispersed dust, smoke and all the unwanted smoke and unwanted gaseous materials are suspended or emitted to the higher level of atmospheric layers, right. It does not comes down and does not impact all the human beings and all the animals and all the flora fauna on the which are living on the lower levels of atmosphere, right. Next one is closing industries which pollute the atmosphere, pollute the environment. Yes, this should also happen. Then shifting of polluting industries away from the cities and heavily populated areas. Yes, my dear students, this is also a very crucial step that we should shift the polluting industries or polluting factories which are located in the densely populated areas or densely populated residential areas where high number of biomass is there, high number of people are living. So, they should be shifted to at a place, they should be shifted to a distant place apart from very far from the city's residential area or crowded place, so that the impact of their pollution does not reaches the people, the impact of their pollution does not harms the people up to that extent. Okay. Development and maintenance of greenery at a adequate width. So, development and maintenance of green belt or greenery should be done at an adequate width, some proper green area, some proper plantation area should be there. Then control of vehicular pollution, the emission standards for automobiles have been set, which is being followed will reduce the pollution. Standards for automobiles have been set, we all know that, and for durability of catalytic converters which reduces vehicular emission. So, we all should get our vehicles checked and we should set our vehicles and their machinery at that standard levels which are being prescribed from the government. In metro cities like Delhi, NCR and other similars to, residents need motor vehicles need to obtain pollution control certificate at regular intervals. We should revise it and we should get it at regular intervals, and we should also get our vehicular pollution checked. This ensures that levels of pollution emitted from vehicle exhaust are not beyond the prescribed legal limits of our country. The price of diesel is much cheaper than the petrol because the promotes use of diesel. To reduce the emission, we should reduce it to 0.05%. Now, earlier lead in the form of tetraethyl lead was added in the petrol to raise octane level for smooth running of engines. So, addition of lead in petrol has been banned to prevent the emission of tetraethyl lead, which was very harmful to our atmosphere, and it caused a lot of damages and lot of problems in our respiratory system. So, students, these were the consequences of air pollution as we all have seen earlier also. Now, let us summarize as a whole. What are the consequences, what are the sources, and what are the preventive and control measures of water pollution. So, first one, we can prevent and control air pollution of indoor air pollution by using various VOCs free. Yes, dear students, what is VOC? VOC is volatile organic compounds. So, we should try to use VOCs free solvents, VOCs free substances like paints, carpets, furniture, different polishes, varnishes in our homes. So, first preventive and control measures of controlling air pollution at our indoors or at our domestic uses. First of all, remove the faulty design which are leading to less ventilation. The places, the indoor places, the domestic places, residential area, all should be very well ventilated, all should be very airy and very well ventilated. Secondly, we should try to remove VOC from our all the solvents, from our all the substances like paints, varnishes, polishes, okay, paints, polishes, varnishes, different carpets, different furnitures which are having polishes, which are having paints onto it. We should try to use maximum VOCs free substances in our houses. Now, next step, next we can do a preventive control measure to remove outdoor air pollution is control of wood and dung cake should be replaced by cleaner fuels like biogas, kerosene, electricity, and with the cleaner fuels, what are cleaner fuels? Biogas, kerosene and electricity. We should replace our traditional systems like burning fires, like burning cow dung cakes, etc. We should use kerosene, we should use electricity and biogas, etc. Biogas generation, you know, biogas generation is very easy. So, we should try to use such fuels which are having larger thermal efficiency also and which are more friendly, more environmental friendly also, which generates low amount of soot and low amount of smoke. Third is prevention and control of industrial pollution. We should try to reduce large amount of fertilizers, plants, power plants, and which are generating more amount of smoke. We should try to reduce that level of smoke and that level of air pollutants also. Now, these all three were the preventive and control measures of air pollution. Now, some techniques and machinery which we have studied to prevent and control air pollution were scrubbers, filters, electrostatic precipitators, inertial correctors which were working in a inertia mechanism creating a cyclone, and these all were control and preventive measures of pollution. So, dear students, in that way we should try to prevent and control air pollution up to a major extent. on as far as we as a responsible human being should try to reduce air pollution, so that all the flora and fauna, all the aquatic biosystem and all the biosystem onto the land surface lives a healthy life. Thank you everyone.